Most people think better travel means spending more money.
But over the years, we've developed practical travel systems that have helped save us thousands of dollars and reduced a lot of travel stress too.
Between business travel and leisure travel, both together and separately, we've spent years figuring out what actually works.
And later in this video, we'll show you a real example of how we saved $71.54 on just one pair of London theater tickets.
Now, we're not luxury influencers, and we're not backpackers either. We just like traveling comfortably, spending intentionally, and avoiding expensive mistakes.
All right, let's get into what works. One of our biggest money saving strategies is surprisingly simple. Whenever possible, we book refundable reservations far in advance. These always include hotels and rental cars, often train tickets, and flights if we're using points or miles. Then we periodically check prices. If the rates go down, we rebook and cancel that first reservation. That one habit alone has saved us thousands of dollars and tens of thousands of points and miles over the years.
And this strategy also gives you flexibility if your plans change, which is incredibly valuable, especially now when travel conditions can shift so quickly. When we do book something non-refundable, we pay close attention to trip insurance protections. Sometimes that means using a credit card with strong travel coverage. Other times, especially for expensive international trips, we'll purchase standalone travel insurance. But here's something important. Do not assume all travel protections are the same. Credit card benefits can vary widely, and the terms can change over time. So if we're relying on a specific benefit, we print or save the terms from the day we made the purchase so we can prove what was in effect at the time we booked.
One reason we take travel insurance seriously is because we've actually had to use it. Back in 2019, we'd planned a trip to Japan. A few days before departure, we saw that a major storm was coming in, and that turned out to be typhoon number 19. Because we had travel insurance, we were able to cancel the trip before the storm had even hit, even though our flight had not officially been canceled yet.
And by the way, the flight did eventually get canceled.
Right. But by canceling it that early, we were able to also cancel other refundable reservations like our hotels.
And the insurance reimbursed
For the airfare.
For the airfare.
The rest of it was canceled in time to not have any cancellation penalties. So we were protected financially. Was it disappointing emotionally? Absolutely. But financially, it could have been much worse.
Another thing we do is think carefully about where upgrades are actually worth paying for. For example, on a very long flight, premium economy may absolutely be worth it, especially for comfort and recovery. We learned that the hard way. We took a 14-hour flight from Los Angeles to Seoul, Korea in economy on seats that felt like concrete. We will not do that again. But on a short flight, we're often perfectly happy in standard economy.
And we also pay attention to logistics. For example, we flew a budget airline from Bilbao to Barcelona and paid a little extra for a package that included early boarding, extra legroom seats, and the ability to take our carry-on bags on the plane with us. For that flight, it was worth it, but only because the price difference was reasonable.
We also use a very simple travel budget structure. We divide spending into transportation, lodging, food, activities, souvenirs, and what we call spur of the moment. And honestly, that last category matters a lot because something always comes up. A restaurant, a museum, something that we want to do.
For example, while we were flying to London, I found discounted West End tickets for the next day's matinee of The Devil Wears Prada. We hadn't bought tickets earlier because we were taking an overnight flight from the US and we didn't want to risk flight delays affecting our ability to get to the matinee. But once we were already in the air, we knew we'd make it. So we booked the tickets mid-flight. And because it was already the day of the show in London, the tickets were substantially discounted. We saved $71.54 on the pair of tickets, freeing up budget for more theater tickets. We ended up seeing 3 shows on that trip. That became one of our favorite West End shows, and for some reason, it never played Broadway, so we couldn't have seen it in New York.
Now, I'm curious, have you ever changed your travel plans mid-flight because your circumstances changed? We want to know. Please share your stories in the comments.
Now, we also pay attention to spending during the trip, but not obsessively. We simply check in periodically. Are we staying roughly on track? Are we overspending in one area? That awareness helps us adjust early without ruining the experience.
One of the biggest travel mistakes people make is focusing only on the cheapest option. But the cheapest option is not always the least expensive overall. Sometimes a better hotel location, a direct train, or a more convenient airport can save transportation costs, time, stress, and energy.
Especially after 50, convenience has real value. And sometimes spending slightly more strategically makes the entire trip substantially better.
The biggest thing we've learned is that smart travel planning isn't really about being cheap. It's about reducing waste.
Waste of money, waste of time, waste of energy, and unnecessary stress.
Because when you eliminate those things, you can focus on what actually matters, the experience itself.
And we'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's the smartest travel decision you've ever made that saved you money?
Or what travel upgrade turned out to be completely worth it?
If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to our channel and check out our other travel videos focused on making travel easier, smarter, and more enjoyable after 50.
Better living starts now.
See you next time.